Good evening and welcome. I'm Todd Markham. I'm President of Access Advertising and Public Relations, and I'm a founding member of the Roanoke Regional Forum. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Tonight is the second presentation of the three-part series of our fifth season. These presentations are discussions that are designed to encourage dialogue among business, civic, and community leaders. The forum features notable speakers to engage people like us, raising awareness of important business issues and promoting the health and vitality of our region's economy. The forum's programs have included engaging panels and many exceptional speakers. In fact, our fall presentation featured Marcus Luttrell, who's a retired Navy SEAL and the author of Lone Survivor. His movie's in theater. The movie that's based on his story is in theaters now, and I'd recommend it if you get a chance to see it. Other speakers have included Freakonomics author Stephen Dubner, local entrepreneurs Ed and Catherine Walker, and award-winning Moonwalking with Einstein author and memory expert Josh Foyer, as well as many others. This evening's program features local celebrities Mike Whiteside and Robert Culp, owners of Black Dog Salvage. We'll introduce and talk about them more a little bit later. First, I'd like to thank our sponsors for making the Roanoke Regional Forum possible. They include Roanoke College, Gentry Lock Brakes and More, Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce, Access, and others that you'll see on the screen and on your agenda. We'd like to invite you to consider becoming a sponsor for Roanoke Regional Forum. You'll not only help promote an exceptional event, but you'll give your business exposure to many key business leaders and professionals. And now about tonight's program. How did Black Dog Salvage go from being a successful local business to a nationwide phenomenon? What happens when the cameras focus on your business? Tonight, moderated by WVTF's Connie Stevens, the owners of Black Dog Salvage and stars of DIY Network's Salvage Dogs, will tell you about their wild ride and their plans for the future. Salvage Dogs is a trip through the shrewd world of negotiations that are negotiated by Robert Culp and Mike Whiteside, co-owners of one of the premier architectural salvage operations in the United States, Black Dog Salvage. They bid on homes that are condemned to be demolished. Their goal is to secure remarkable pieces of America's history that are hidden within these old structures before they're lost forever. These salvage vintage pieces include everything from doors and windows to mantles and a whole lot more. Once they've recovered them, the guys sell these valuable pieces to a wide range of clients, from construction workers to high-end interior designers. And they use them for everything from renovating historic buildings to adding character to new buildings. A pleasant byproduct of their success is they've become standard bearers for our region, attracting tourists while focusing the national spotlight on Roanoke. And now from the scrap heap to stardom, the Black Dog Salvage story, and our moderator, Connie Stevens. We're going to have a short video first.
Hey, Connie. How you doing, darling? Let's see, Robert. Which side do I sit on?
You got to go over here because that's the way it is on TV. That's the way you got to go.
Yeah.
I feel like we're behind the scenes, just watching.
Oh.
The cameras are here. Did you not see them?
Well, no, it's just
They're going to put their own mics on. They're professionals at this.
I thought mic'd up. I think we're already mic'd up.
No, these are different mics.
Is this a different one?
Okay.
Oh God. Let's see.
You're live and nationwide. I am so happy to be here with Roanoke's latest TV stars, Mike Whiteside and Robert Culp. They've always been pretty popular here in the Star City, but now they are our ambassadors. They are introducing the country to Roanoke, and they are our ambassadors of charm and history and antique aesthetics.
You're reaching.
But these are not glamorous jobs. They're kind of disgusting and dirty and nasty and icky and smelly. And I've talked to them both. I know you took showers before you came, so we do appreciate that.
You're obviously a fan.
The video, do your wives know you're doing this while you're out?
No.
Now they do.
That is some dangerous work that for some of us, these would be the situations of nightmares. But I know there are payoffs to running Black Dog Salvage, one of the top architectural salvage operations in the country. These guys are finding the diamonds in the rough. Before we talk about the show, let's start by talking about the beginnings of your partnership. I snooped around and I talked to some of your friends. And from what I understand,
We have friends.
Mike, you needed a garage built. And Robert, you were going to give him some advice on building a garage, but you guys really didn't get around to that. Instead, you embarked on a few other projects. Take us back to the beginning.
My wife drugged me up to Roanoke. Thank you, Susie. And I needed a garage. And third hand, this is how things happen. Third hand, I got handed Robert. The day
I'm third hand.
A day that Robert, yeah, you're third, Robert. I'm sorry, buddy. Hope you didn't think that it was going to be number one. Okay, here, ma. Talking okay over here.
Where's sound?
Yeah.
Hello.
I need an audio guy. Any audio guys in here? And Robert probably wished he had built the garage for me. That he probably would have just had it be done with me by that time. And it turned out that he didn't want to build the garage, but he said, no, for a lunch and a beer, I'll give you some advice. I said, cool. And that's where it started.
How long ago was that?
99.
Is that when it was?
99.
August of, July of 1999. And I was
He's got a better memory than I do.
I'm a contractor. By the way, it's Blue Ridge Residential as a construction
There's
company.
cards at the back.
Not to,
And you did have a similar background, being that you both had a naval background. Robert, I think you were a naval officer, and Mike, you were a parachute.
I was enlisted.
and he's older, by the way.
Yeah, that
too.
hierarchy's still pretty much the
Did you
same.
bond over the Navy, or did you bond over buildings or junk?
It just had a lot in common. The Navy, he had 3 sisters, I had 3 sisters. I mean, it's
I recall
Chatty
the
Cathy, really.
I recall the phone call when he called me about the garage, and I recall going, "Who is this guy?" And we just started talking on the phone about what we had done somehow. That's why I agreed to give him advice on building a garage, because we had a lot in common. And
Other than that, he wouldn't have given me the time of day.
no.
Did you
It's okay.
think that Black Dog Salvage, the store, the operation, would become, or the site, would become what it has? This is, say, pre-television show.
Oh, gosh, no.
It's all pre-television.
Yeah, television's only a small bit of our
right.
existence. No, this was a spec venture to start. Susie and I had a business, and we were closing it.
We're in transition.
Transition, that's a good word. And when I met Robert, he asked me what I was going to do. I said, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. He definitely needs an audio guy, doesn't he?
I do. I need help.
It's that little switch on top.
Can you see
there.
it? I can't see. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Say something.
Did you get that?
I think they edit this part out of the TV show.
Yeah. That's the difficulty with this. This is live, and we're not used to this.
Uncensored.
Uncensored, yeah.
Yeah, we might have to worry about that.
Yeah, we have a bet going.
It's a family
right now.
program, but I'm
We don't
not.
have a delay. So.
That's right.
These are all grown-ups here. They
Well,
can handle it.
let's talk about the TV show, because from what I understand, everybody wants to know, how did you get that gig? Who do you know?
It's serendipity.
Yeah, it was just,
Sure.
it's kind of, you want the Reader's Digest version?
Well, I hear it involves a fishing story. Let's get the whole thing.
Well, a couple of guys here in town, Ted Ayers and Dr. Hooper, and I went fishing. And they went fishing every September up on the Jackson. And I'm a fly fisherman, so I said, I want to go along. And there was a fellow that was with the group named Billy Hayes, and he owns Figure 8 Film, which is Cape Plus 8.
Johnny Cape. Plus
Johnny
eight.
Cape. That was
Don't throw him under the bus.
Don't
already.
that's right.
He did that on his own. But
Sister Wives, 19 and Counting. He's got a lot of dysfunctional reality shows out there. And Billy would be the first to agree with me. And so we basically dared him, said, hey, we're as dysfunctional as the rest of you. Why don't you try with us? And he did a pilot for us. And from there, he couldn't sell it either. It's hard out there, guys.
Well, I know you're getting ready to go in your second season. How many episodes do you have in the bank? Because they've aired on DIY, but they've also aired on HGTV.
HGTV, yep.
we have thousands.
Thousands. Or
But-
maybe one right now.
But they've only culled out 26 from
Yeah,
that 1,000. They could make another episode completely.
We're at a disadvantage is we have to have projects for them to film. Whereas if you're going up to Kate's house and watching her 8 kids
Talk.
She has to
do
do that
around,
every night.
they probably filmed 36 episodes in
Month.
2 months, possibly. And all the film crew that does our show did that show. So we get to hear all the stories, but you can imagine we have to do things. We have to take action.
I would also imagine that you are pretty hard on a camera crew in that you are.
What, just the
digging
looks? Is
around
it the looks?
You know, Kate has them at the dining room table and you've got them swinging from the rooftop.
Well, it's their choice. It's their choice. Yeah, they don't have to follow me. You know, that's their.
I hear we're more fun going out to dinner with than
Then Kate,
previous.
yeah, they're an awesome bunch of people. They really make it a lot of fun.
Well, is there any acting involved with this? Is there much coaching? I obviously not out in the field, but in the setup of the program where, you know, hi Robert, I've got an idea for what to do today. Is there some coaching on their part?
Sometimes we have to set things up because obviously there's no reality in reality.
It's our current reality.
That's our current reality. That's how we preface it. So we do set some of our local stuff up, you know, like our wows and our builds. We're not that random.
They don't know what
We're not that random. A wow is when we drive in with a rocket on top of the car. Whoa, you know.
That's my line.
That's it.
That's what I said. Wow.
That's as good as it gets, guys.
I think maybe some of you have seen The Lion in the Saddle.
Yeah.
There you go.
A
That's
wow.
a wow. There you go. So if you got wows out there, let me know. I'm looking for season 3.
So it's certainly not scripted.
It's not
But
scripted.
it is, it's reverse produced, so we go out on a salvage job and we do that job. And then we do build something, or Mike builds something. And then I say, wow, when he brings something really funky in. And then after all that, then we gather together in our round table, Monday morning round table, 2 months later, and we talk about what we're going to do this week.
Well, that makes sense.
So
So it's connecting the parts of the episode.
Well, the camera really seems to play off of your differences where, you know, Mike, you're always positioned as the wide-eyed optimist looking for treasure. And Robert,
Sounding
they
good,
play
huh?
you as the
Not so
bottom line, the business guy, worried about the money.
You know,
is this your real-life
It's
relationship? Or
perfect characterization of us, yeah. Robert's the right angle and I'm loose cannon on deck.
there's no question that that's real.
It is us. It's truly, that's who we are.
If you weren't on camera, would you have a bunch of muscly teens doing this work for you? Or is that not possible because by nature it must be so precise?
Can you find any muscly teens that want to work?
I'd be sitting on a stool paying.
If you have muscly teens out there, send them our way. We got a job.
That want to work.
That wanna work.
That's the kind
As
of
you
key
stated
point.
earlier, it's a very dirty, nasty job.
But it's also so precise, and so you can't just have a crew. This isn't demolition. Very
It's
opposite.
selective demolition. The wrong misplaced hammer takes all the value away from one piece that could be the gold of the whole job.
And typically we have to have that. I mean, no matter if there's TV crew or this is a real business. And we have to bid on these projects. We have to bargain to get the lowest price. And then we have to get as much of it out as we can in the shortest amount of time. And all this is real. And if we have people who don't know what they're doing or aren't paying attention, they can ruin that key piece, because typically there's got to be a key piece that I can turn over.
We're always looking to break even.
Yeah.
0. How about that for a business
It's all
model?
downhill after that.
So all of the sites that you've had the camera crew, you would have been there anyway.
Well, we're at a lot more of them these
Yeah,
days.
we probably not as many, and the show has allowed us to expand our reach, and
It's required us to feed the machine as
Yeah, that's
well,
right.
which is it's kind of it builds.
Do you ever have any duds where the crew goes out and all of you just agree, we're not getting what we want out of this, and it ends up on what used to be the cutting room floor?
no,
Oh gosh, that would be a disaster. In fact, they'd love it. The
they
TV guys would love if we would just go out there and just blow one.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
they would. I mean, they just revel in the misery, and it would just be another angle for the TV.
They just make it look good. That's
Yeah.
all. You know, they
I mean,
can
it would
make a
be-
dud look good.
We'd be checking off the box. There would be an episode.
That's
but
episode 13.
It'd be expensive.
Have you had any on-camera injuries, complete with scary music?
I don't know if they put scary music in, but you know, you can always hear them when I'm the bleeder. If
He is
anybody
the
has seen the show, I'm the accident prone because I'm always in the thick of it and not doing
Where am
things
I?
quite right. Robert's behind me.
I would move clipboard.
Robert gets a hangnail or a splinter in his hand or something. And
The splinters, I really hate.
Yeah, they're bad. They're infectious, that's for sure. But that's I'm the one that usually bleeds, and so you can always
Copiously.
listen to the. You can always hear the camera crew because they're always talking with each other, and it says, "Mike's bleeding. Mike's bleeding. All cameras on. Mike."
I think they might be slipping you blood now. Anything for ratings, right?
That's I'll take.
I believe there is at least maybe 2 episodes out of the 26 we have done that he did not bleed.
Season 2, don't give it away, Robert, because season 2 is coming up. I do a lot better in season 2, guys. Less bloodletting.
Ask him.
Well, Robert, let's go back to what you were talking about, sort of the nutshell of what you guys do. You're going out and surveying, and then you're making a bid, and it's all sort of on a bet. The gut instinct that says, I'm going to come out ahead in terms of time and money and labor. Is
that how it works, Robert?
That is how it works. Unfortunately, we're up against some, it's just like the construction business, only in reverse, but you have to convince the people that you're dealing with that they're just not going to get any more for this. The clock is ticking. It's going to the landfill. And have some idea of the difficulty of removing these items and then housing and feeding them for sometimes years.
Robert loves this business, you can tell.
And then selling them, and then when you sell it, it's just awesome because it lives again or it gets rebuilt into something else that it wasn't before. And that's great, but there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of chaff around that doesn't get used.
Do you guys get better and better at this every year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can't you tell?
Haven't you watched an episode? There's definitely, you get better at the functionality of our businesses, logistics-wise, and what it takes to get it out. I mean, you used to do it from the bottom floor up. No, you do it from the top down, and you use gravity as an asset, not an adversary. So it's a lot of cowboy physics, I call it. You gotta figure it out, and after 13 years,
Yeah.
we figured it out a little bit. We're still.
Sticker. Gravity is an asset, not an adversary.
Y'all can use that. That's okay. I didn't coin it.
Pearls of wisdom. Let's talk about, you're talking about feeding and housing some of these treasures. Let's talk about the Black Dog Institution, Herman the German, a giant cast iron horse and rider statue. And I think he is available for near $12,000, and he's quite handsome.
Prices are going down.
We accept deposits, though. We've accepted 3 already. So.
Herman the German has been around for a long time, and he does create traffic for you and buzz. Is he really even for sale?
Absolutely.
Everything's
for sale but the dog, and that's.
I've read that the dog can be bought.
You got to buy the whole
business,
business, and we'll miss her. That's an old line.
That's an old line.
Yeah. There's another curiosity, because I know you do quite a business on eBay, and that's probably, the TV show is probably helping that quite a bit. But there's a 40-foot replica of the Eiffel Tower, and you're listing it at $15,000. And I was curious.
I thought it was 20.
It was $20,000, $22,000.
Jill, how much is it? Where's Jill?
Where does one find a 40-foot replica of the Eiffel Tower, and who might buy it?
Well, we haven't figured out who's going to buy it yet. That's always our gamble. The Eiffel Tower was sitting in front of a French restaurant, obviously, in the brewery district of Columbus, Ohio, and we get a lot of inquiries online from all over the country, basically, more eastern section of the country. And, just the guy's going to take it down and throwing feeders out there to see who would want it. And, Robert and I want it. But it's more like I wanted it. And Robert says, okay, we can make an episode out of that. And that was key. So that's kind of the history of that piece. And it's a scale model, and not identical, but very close. And you squint your eyes a little bit and have some French wine. It looks the same.
That's right.
Yeah, of the Eiffel Tower. So we're hoping, there's somebody, a Frenchman living up on Bent Mountain that wants an Eiffel Tower.
So you have a Frenchman on Bent Mountain.
You're out there. I know you're out there.
Or want to be a Frenchman.
That's right.
Well, we're talking about the specifics on the eBay site, and I really encourage the audience to visit it because it's quite a trip. I mentioned the fiberglass circus lion wearing the saddle. One of you wrote it, I believe.
That was Ted, I think.
Okay.
Ted's out in the field
Ted's,
working.
A vintage barber chair, a jukebox, the facade of the Sheridan Square Vaudeville Theater in Pennsylvania, priced at $20,000.
Oh, that was a
For
$20,000.
the
Okay.
person who has everything, they don't have that.
That's
No,
right.
they
And these
don't.
are pieces, exactly. Would you like a job? She's good.
Again, with a nonprofit.
So are we.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert's got that right.
You laugh.
But these are the curiosities that really do drive people to the nuts and the bolts and the doors and the bathtubs. Is there anything you're tired of seeing?
Oh, no. Sorry about it.
5 o'clock usually, Robert, yeah. No, that's really the good time, man. We all crack a beer about that point.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right.
As far as,
Well, I heard you in one episode say that it's really difficult to keep track of your inventory, especially when you're repurposing for the show. Has that become more difficult as you've expanded?
it's been a big, problem. It's something we've never really done well or at all. But, we're getting better.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Well, we got an IT guy. He's up to his head right here with it.
That was
right
our
now.
bring up the employment situation at Black Dog right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, we've our payroll has increased radically. Now, of course, our business has increased radically since the exposure. I mean, if you ever wanted to believe whether advertising works,
It does.
it does work. If you throw enough money at it, it definitely works. And luckily, we don't have to pay.
Get a
the bill.
reality show. It's off. It's on.
Well, I'm going to ask the nosy question that everyone here is too polite to ask, but this is why they invited me. And I will just phrase it as, is having your own reality show a lucrative endeavor?
That's Mike's department.
Not yet. And reality shows don't pay you to do this. They handle your expenses and help you. They call it talent fees. I don't know what that means. That's assuming that you have
If
talent.
you're going out on these jobs anyway.
But
Yeah.
we might.
I would refer to it as a stipend. Is that
Stipend.
what we get?
Yeah.
And, it's
Like-
certainly a good thing and it's meaningful. But the reason there is so many unscripted television shows out there right now is because it is so much cheaper for these production companies to produce.
We have the value of having a business
It's bad for us.
that we can feed through our exploits under Salvage Dogs. So we have a machine behind it, which a lot of the reality shows don't have. So how they make money, how does Honey Boo Boo make money?
She probably does because she's at the very top of the top, if you can believe that. But
That's a bad commentary on America.
luckily, we have a way or the possibility of capitalizing. Not saying that we have capitalized on it, but we're making every effort to capitalize on a very fleeting opportunity that it will go away soon enough. But we're not so dumb that that we think we can't. We
keep telling
don't
yourself
have to
that,
do
Robert.
it right now. We've got to do it right now. We've got to capitalize on it, and so we're trying.
It's been a lot better than it ever has, just because the show has allowed us to, as Robert says, capitalize on our celebrity.
Have you had any regrets? Has the show ever tried to honey boo boo you? And if you don't know what or who a honey boo boo is, do not Google this.
No.
Retain your naivete. But has this happened to you?
We got nothing on Honey Boo Boo, I can tell you that. Yeah, she's my hero.
Do you get to green light the production before it's aired?
Yes, we get rough cuts and get to let them know if there's objectionable features, like me doing something really stupid that
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been.
Our contract says they have to make us look good.
Well, I think
And that's
I've
a
heard
tall
you say,
order right
don't
there.
do this at home.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing that is kind of a double-edged sword of the reality genre, is that you are exposing what you do to everyone who watches. And so you do something stupid, there's somebody going to do something stupid saying, well, Mike did it. So you really, after season 1, that we've kind of gotten a little more responsible on how we do our job, still having fun and still putting ourselves myself in a little bit of danger.
We have to create some
Right.
interest, and if we did everything the way, threw enough money out and get all the right equipment, well, how fun would that
As a
be?
yawner.
Yeah.
One of my favorite components of the show is when you involve your resident artist, Courtney Cronin, and you often lead
Courtney, you
her
here?
to turn salvage into style. So I think we saw the bathtub that turned into a settee. Do you have these kind of projects going on there all the time? Or is that just television makes us think you guys do a lot of a day's work?
Well, it's the magic of TV, really. That's all it is. No, we create out of our basement a lot, all the time, really. But a lot of the stuff is commission pieces. Somebody comes in wants something done, and for the builds, we dream up a lot of stuff too for the show that we would do anyway. But it gives us a little bit more of a license to go wild with salvage and like the tub. That was we didn't invent that, by the way. That was some people have done that way before us, but we put it on a reality show.
He owns it
We
now.
watched it.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go with it, okay?
Well, I'll go back to that earlier question. Really, are there any items that you just don't want anymore? That you just say, I don't want to go to that job, I have too many XYZs?
There's definitely some, we call it meat and potato salvage, which is the doors, the mantles, the lighting, the tubs, all the stuff that is typical of a house. And we get probably 10 a week that are just that and worse. So
It's not true that we don't want it, it's just that we just don't have time. There's so much salvage and so little
That's
time.
an old, so much salvage, so little us.
That's right. So you have to start making choices.
Elevating and we look for right now we're kind of looking for the higher end salvage a little bit, the stuff that has a little bit more sellability.
So
Such as?
Well, just certain type of doors and a whole house that you can take the elements from and
build a new one.
And build a new one. We sold pretty much all the stuff from one of our jobs up in Fairmont, West Virginia, to a gentleman and his wife in Utah, and they're building a new home with pretty much all of this
he was
house.
from Seattle. They were from Seattle, and they're building a second home in Utah, and they came to Roanoke,
And how
Virginia.
did they find us?
How about that?
Their daughter's
That's good
going
stuff.
to W&L, and we get a lot of college parents. They dump their kid off and they want something to do, and they come and find us. Excuse me about the dumping the kid off.
They want to spend even more money. I like it.
Well, since this is just a very small, intimate group, we're all friends, only a couple hundred people, can you share a few secrets with us? Because about the art of the deal. As we mentioned, you are known as very shrewd negotiators. So sometimes when you're buying and selling history, if you are the buyer, it can be difficult to negotiate with guys like you. Can you give us
Oh, we're very difficult.
tips or hints or?
Well, buy low, sell high. That's the old adage.
We came up with that.
You
It's
know,
awesome.
Give it to me even. That's the side of the road.
We're not proud.
We're not proud. I'll jump in a dumpster.
Yeah,
That's not a problem.
we have cruised the curb lines on occasion.
I've it's one of my hobbies. I do stop and put stuff in the back of the truck or on top of my Cadillac.
In the long run, you're dealing with something that has a limited shelf life in the field, a house, a building, a church, anything, and you want to save the stuff. You want to keep it out of the waste stream. In our case, we're trying to make a living doing this, and we're providing, our payroll's, I guess, up to about 20, 18 or 20, something like that, and you want to keep these people jobs. The only way to do that is to buy as low as possible while still getting a fair deal so you don't get a reputation that you're trying to
Robert,
cut
we got a
people's thing.
reputation already, buddy.
Come on. I'm trying to make it sound better than it is.
Expanding on your business philosophy, one thing that is so frequently referenced in any discussion about your operation is the sheer importance that you've portrayed about the environmental responsibility, about recycling, about letting nothing go to waste. How does this play into some of your business decisions?
Well, we're a for-profit organization, so it's our what did you call yourself, an environmental capitalist?
I would say that.
Yeah, that's it. So we shoot to make money on what we do. We don't get any grants or anything, so we're not a nonprofit of that nature. So we have to we have to make a profit on this stuff. Where was I going with this train of
I
thought?
don't know.
No, just about the importance of the recycling, because the TV show seems to bring that out.
Well, it does. Most of this stuff is going away, and you know, we're a disposable society these days where we don't put a lot of value on our history or the materials that built it. And those materials are not made anymore. You get, you know, a house.
The people that made them are dead. The skills that created these things are not taught anymore, or it's so expensive to reproduce this stuff that you're saving, you know, somebody who's 150 years dead. You're saving that as well as the item. And you know, I'm a believer in recycling and all the things that are green, but I'm in it for the long haul, which means a sustainable way, which means a business-based model where people can make a living saving the things as opposed to just trying to do a good deed.
Making a living out of the responsibility.
Right.
What's out there that you really want?
Oh,
What do you all have your eyes on?
You know, they're getting ready to redo the dome in the Capitol. I'm in.
You got a bid on that.
Yeah, just the stuff that falls down. That's all I want.
Are there things, or is this a trade secret? You don't want to tell us what you're
You know,
Well, you can't tell. You know, you can't tell about deals you're working on.
we have
People
some
come in.
pretty incredible pieces or houses that we're looking at doing for season 3 that are incredible. There's one in Florida. There's an amusement park in New Orleans.
South.
New Orleans, south. We want to go south right now.
So you are traveling more and wider.
It's the first year we kind of had to stay as regional as we could, or local, and then we've branched out. Second season went up to New Jersey and Ohio, Pennsylvania, and now they're letting us. I say they're letting us. They're
What's
the economics of it
yeah.
allowing us to go.
And people
farther.
are calling from farther away. You know, whereas we might get a call from 2 blocks down the street 5 years ago, we're getting calls from
3 states away.
Yeah.
There's a Bavarian mansion that I was standing on the banks of. Come on, I'll tell them about it.
Bavarian mansion.
It's incredible.
That
Yeah.
one.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it right there. Watch. No, it's incredible. It's sitting on the banks of Lake Erie. I was there a month ago, and the wind chill was -2, and I told them I'd be back in April.
I do want to talk to you.
and it's slipping to May.
There's another aspect of your livelihoods, and I don't really know anything about this, but if you could walk us through that business of regulations and city and county policies and working with other
Is any-
companies, which is more difficult, that aspect or crawling through the cellar?
Is there any city officials here tonight? Somebody sure.
Is my insurance agent out there here?
I'm gonna plead the 5th on that one, please. No.
Okay, so I think that tells us.
Well, no, it is. It's difficult. We're working in a lot of different localities, and we have to tiptoe through it. As far as you know, you talk to the owner, and they're responsible for demolition. We are not a demolition company. We come in right before the demolition guys do, and they need to have their things in order. A lot of times we miss things because of environmental requirements like asbestos and different things that tear things up.
And you're talking to the demolition crew also. You're talking to the,
Trying to coordinate with as many people as we can to make our lives easier and make them do all the work.
Because that's key.
Yeah.
Most demolition companies are just knock it down, throw it away, and get on to the next one. And that's the economics of their business. We try to let people know that we are an alternative to that waste stream. Is to have a company like ours or other salvage companies in their area come in and capture that waste, and you're not throwing it in the landfill, you're not paying to throw it away, and you get something for it, which is if everybody was to slow down just a little bit and think about it, that is the real benefit for what we do for them. And of course our side of it is we get to capture it, bring it home, polish it up, and sell it to the world.
one of your associates describes your partnership as working like 2 sides of the same brain. Is that a fair observation?
Not for Robert.
No. It is a good partnership simply because we're so absolutely different in a lot of ways, most ways, and then on a kind of a social kind of personality thing, when we're not doing business, we get along like brothers. So it's
Yeah, brothers from different mothers.
Yeah. I mean, that really means if anybody, I've never had a brother for real,
And
but
me
I've
either.
watched
Three
them.
sisters.
You know, you fight and you do things, but we get along pretty well for as long as we've been around each other.
Yeah. And
That quote comes from John Reburn, Roanoke's very talented Grand Poobah of Appalachian Press. Not sure if
Thanks,
he's
John,
here or not.
if you're here.
And a great friend of Black
We
Dog
would
as
be
well.
remiss if we didn't talk about the sort of colony of artists that you have created, allowing the colony of us shoppers to have access to their wares. Talk about that.
Well, the marketplace was something that when we moved into the building that we're in now, is something that Robert and I kind of had as a model of what we could do with this building. And of course, you know, we could fill it up with junk all day long, and we did. Excuse me, did I say junk? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Treasures. But the beauty of what we do is in how it's displayed. Thank you, Corner Culp. She's our marketing.
Thomas? Corner Culp Thomas.
Corner Culp Thomas, I'm sorry. Is to bring in artists and show their wares amongst the salvage. And it's just it's a nice marriage, and it gets to promote a lot of local artists, potters, painters, woodworkers. Everybody has a venue there.
Well, I've got to ask about the dog. You can't talk about the company without talking about Sally.
She had a better agent than we do, so she's not here tonight.
Does Sally get a lot of attention?
Oh God!
More than she
Yeah.
can handle on most days. It's pretty tough on her. She is a beautiful hostess.
She's Hollywood. She knows how to strike a pose and then go
Disappear.
away. Yeah.
Under my desk.
It's kind of serendipity. When Robert and I were starting the business, and we're thinking, man, Robert and Mike's, Southwest Virginia's architectural salvage junk shop, and it just wasn't rolling off the tongue, obviously. And we were standing at our old place over off of Franklin Road, and my wife, who wandered in, and Sally, and now Molly, my first dog, was a foot, and she said, "Why don't you call it Black Dog Salvage?" Bing. It was probably one of the best things that we ever did.
So they took. This is after we had called the building, just our business, Salvage, with the black paint on a reverse,
dripping black paint
on a reverse vinyl sign hanging it. And
it was a class act. There's
what
no doubt.
what was the city manager's name? Darlene. Darlene didn't.
Darlene
Mike
Bertram.
put a toilet up on top of the building. This is right on Franklin Road. Darlene just didn't.
I don't do
take
that
it.
anymore. I've calmed down in my elder years.
She didn't understand. So
Well, there again, you're going back to city ordinances. You can see a toilet from the street, and I said, I can understand.
We've had
that.
a rapprochement since then.
Yeah.
They've been very good to
The
us,
city's
and I
great.
do appreciate their encouragement and help along the way.
Well, you're making Roanoke look pretty good, and I think that the first episode that comes out in the next season is entirely based in Roanoke, isn't it?
Yes, we have two based in Roanoke this season, which is one up at Nestlebrook, which is a very old house that Goodwill bought and are going to raise to build a park, I think. And then another one, of course, it's created a lot of stink, I think, too. We're just kind of the
And one of the
keep our head
problems
down.
we have run into along the way is, I'm a preservationist. I'm interested in history, but some folks in that not business, but who have a special care for historic properties, get upset when we go in there and save these things. We are the last stop. I mean, there is no hope once we get there, and because that place is going to the dump, and we're taking action. Now, we're doing it for profit, which we make no bones about. We hope for profit, but we would I would much rather see this stuff stay in place.
And
But if it's going to go,
we love
we're gonna
promoting
save it.
Roanoke because obviously this is a homegrown company. Robert's from Roanoke, my wife's from Roanoke, and it's a place we raised our kids, and we're pro Roanoke. So every time that we're here, then we can get Roanoke in the show. It's just it's a great thing for us and the city, I think.
And Trailblazer Studios is who produces the television show. I don't know if you've watched the show, and you'll see a lot more of it in the second season, is when they're in town, we're working a project in town, they always feature the community we're in. And we're here and we're in Roanoke every episode. So there is a huge amount of of good looks at Roanoke that's going across the country.
Sounds
We're
like he
pretty
needs
proud
a key
of.
to the city.
We're
don't you
pr-
think?
yeah. Well, we're proud of that, and we like where we live, and it's good.
We have just a couple of minutes, but we do have some time for a few questions from the audience. And that mic right over there is live. So we can take about 3 questions if you want to come up and ask your question. I hate to hog the dogs to myself.
Nothing to do with Duck Dynasty.
Not a single question. I must be really good.
You're awesome. We told you that.
That's quite all right with us.
Ask me a question, Robert.
As far as us homeowners maybe living in some of the older neighborhoods, do you have any advice for us to maybe better appreciate what we might have lurking in our own homes?
Yeah, just take all the doors and bring them on over.
Hey, all those missing cool French doors are in your attic. Where they've taken out the double doors and somebody stuffed them up in the attic. Put them back in, and if you don't want to put them back in, then bring them to us.
I live across the street from you, and I'm missing several doors in my house. And I think maybe you and the previous owner have something going on there.
I'd call the sheriff.
But you're even, you're really relishing even the old plumbing as well.
Oh, vintage plumbing is a huge seller. There's certain styles of plumbing that people really like. After 13, 14 years in this business, you kind of figure out what's got sellability. That only comes with time. You can't read a book, or maybe you can. We'll be putting a book out here pretty soon. How to Lose Money in the Salvage Business by Robert Culp.
Without really trying.
Yeah. You start off with $5 million and end up with $1 million.
That's right. Unique items like weird plumbing fixtures are what we're looking for, like foot baths. Remember
The bizarre stuff.
Something that you've never
anymore.
seen before. You've never seen it.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce Bryan came to play.
Oh no!
knew it would.
No.
I was curious if you could talk a little bit about the people that come from afar just to see you or to see Sally, and then the impact of that on the region, because there are really a lot of television tourists, I think, coming to Roanoke now, right?
We're on the tour.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Bruce.
That's our PR guy, by the way.
And does a great job advertising as well.
Do you give autographs now?
Absolutely.
Only on receipts.
That's perfect. Oh, look at
We've got a map of the United States or North America on right at our door that we set up several months ago. I think Krista did that before us, before we left, I think, with pins in it, seeing where everybody is coming from. And obviously, we've had an internet business for a long time, and people know about us all over the country, but not near enough people have known about us all over the country. And people are, claiming to have come all the way across the country to see us. Usually, they're on their way to something else.
You never want to call them on it.
Yeah,
Except
we love you. We love you.
ask them if they
But
don't have anything better to do.
it really opened my eyes to how many people watch TV, number one, that have an interest. I mean, all these television channels, I never knew why there were so many, but people do watch them, and they watch what they're interested in, and if they're watching HGTV or DIY Network, they're interested in what we do, which means that we are reaching our target market almost directly. It is a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, there's
right
no
there.
broadcasting there. It's right there.
Yeah.
And that is, we're a draw. And Pickers or Pawn Stars or any of these other, they have stores where they sell their T-shirts and stuff. People are very surprised when they come to our shop that we actually do this for a living, and that our building is really better than the TV show. And that's why.
And that we're actually working.
We're actually working. Why are you here? I said, well, my yacht's being painted. So I was going to show up.
Do we have another question from the audience? All right, I'll ask you to each give us one story, your most magical salvage,
Oh, Lord.
and your worst.
Should have given us this question before we came here.
Let's have Mike the Optimist give us his favorite happy salvage story.
Happy salvage. Well, usually if we're making money and Robert's happy, I'm happy. Happy Robert, happy Mike. That's,
You get to eat that night?
yeah, we get to put shoes on the kids and that kind of stuff. You know, probably the first salvage job we ever did here in Roanoke was probably one of our best salvage jobs we ever did, which was on 21 Highland Avenue. And this was one of the last houses on Orchard Hill. If you're from Roanoke, you know where that was. It was one of the first neighborhoods here in town. And
All the Philadelphia folk live
there you go. There you go, Robert. See, a little South Roanoke humor there. And it was our first one. We bid it solely through the late Alan Amos, and we gave him an offer, and he accepted it right away, which Rob and I said right away we paid too much.
We'd known each other for about a week and a half
Yeah,
at this point.
and
We're
he-
like going, oh, you dumb.
Yeah, so we asked him. I said, I told you I won that $20.
Did I say that out
I
loud?
think you did.
Many of us remember Alan Amos.
Alan Amos,
Emotional.
and he was our best friend right until he wasn't,
Well, yeah.
and that was my fault.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
So the worst part, that was the best house we ever did, and some of the best stuff we ever pulled out. And we've got good stuff today, but that was always kind of key. And then the worst one was when Alan Amos's crew chased me out of a house with a backhoe, with a track hoe.
Track hoe.
I was in the front
Right.
taking out windows, and he was in the back clawing at the house and telling me to get out.
Even though we had made a deal with him.
And you know what?
earlier
I
in the
got
day.
out. I called the police, but I got out.
And speaking of that
I
house,
remember that made news at the time.
I don't know if it did or not. You know, I just kind of kept my head down and ran.
Maybe it made gossip.
That was gossip, yeah. You asked Carillion, it was all their stuff. You know, they.
the problem with having one of your best jobs, and I wouldn't say it was our best job in 13 years, but the problem with having one of the most fantastic salvage projects at the very front end of your business is you're fooled into thinking you
It was downhill from
everything
there.
up. It's down. I mean, we took out some tremendous tile surrounds around fireplaces and some tremendous mantles in this house, and we were selling some of them on the way out the door. Now that fires an entrepreneur's juices almost immediately. This is going to be great. I'm going to make a ton of money.
And this was, yeah, there you go.
Then you have to create a business to.
But this was a
support
spec
it.
venture. This was something that Robert and I said, hey, I'll throw in 3,000, you throw in 3,000,
Right.
and we'll see if we can make 4,000. I think we did better
I think
than
we did that.
Yeah. But that was the seed of Black
4,200.
Dog Salvage, and we finally figured out, hey, I guess we're in the salvage business, and hey, we better open the door. Instead of just putting it in and locking it up, okay, we'll go to work from 10 to 2.
Right.
That was some good days. Let
That's
me tell
right.
you, 10
Oh,
to
yeah.
2. I'd love to do that again.
We hope you have so many good days ahead, and it's been so nice to spend the evening with you and get this behind-the-scenes glimpse. We're going to keep a tight time clock because I know you're headed out tonight
Yep.
on the road for a salvage. You're
Salvage
moving
never
through.
sleeps.
Yep.
So we know you need to get out of here. Before we turn the program back to the folks at the Regional Forum, Todd Markham, thanks so much to both of you. And you can find them in several different places. On television, the DIY channel, the new season begins Thursday night at 11. And again, that first episode is based in Roanoke. On eBay at their very unusual store, or in the Black Dog Salvage shop on 13th Street next to the Memorial Bridge. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.